Life does not consist of how many cars or how many millions of naira and dollars you have in the bank account, but it's how many lives you have touched. Every time God gives you a dream, every time you have a dream, there is a devil ready to stop your dream. Because every time God ordains a man, the devil also ordains a man or a woman to stop that person. Remaining for you to say, no, you kept the back of my father on the ground, you will not keep my own back on the ground. You pick your back from the ground, wipe off the sand. You say, you stop my father, but you will not stop me. My father was poor, but I will not be poor. My father was an illiterate, I will not be an illiterate.
This program is made possible by the partners and friends of Liberation TV.
When God demands something from you, you say, oh, but God, I've fasted, I've prayed. But there is a situation you need to understand. Some of you have prayed for a particular thing again and again, and yet results have not come. Your problem is not prayer, your problem is understanding.
And now, let's join Dr. Chris Okafor for today's message.
He said this issue is not the issue of prayer. This issue is another dimension that will deal with this issue. What was the issue? He said this is what you must do. You have prayed but nothing has happened. He said now this is what you need to do by the Spirit. The Bible said the Lord God is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of God is, there is liberty. When you listen to the instruction of the Spirit, that's the only way you can get liberty. Somebody say liberty.
Liberty.
And it came to pass, the prophet said this is what you must do. You stop praying, go raise altar, go to the choicest part of the land, go raise an altar, acquire land, and God was specific. You see, every time God gives instruction, He gives instruction to eliminate distraction. He gives instruction to eliminate distraction. And listen, when God is specific about a matter, the problem is people want to be free, but nobody is ready to do what God asks them to do. That's what the Bible said. There is a way that seems good in the eyes of men, but the end is destruction. What happened? And David went to Arana. He said to Arana, I need your land. And when Arana saw David, he said, why have you come? He said, I have come. If you read verse 21, that sums up everything. Watch what it says in verse 21. And Arana said, wherefore is my Lord the king come to his servant? And David said, to buy the threshing floor of thee, to build an altar unto the Lord, that the plague may be stayed from the people. What is plague? Sickness is plague, poverty is plague, barrenness is plague, sudden death is plague. Issues that have defied your prayers and fastings, they have become plague. You go through medical sickness, diseases that are medically incurable. They have defied medicine, defied natural solution. Everything is a plague. It's on you, but you can't do anything about it. It's a plague. How do you come out of plague? So this plague was on David. The plague have defied the prayer of David. So when David came to Arana, David understand what it means to carry out instruction. When he came to Arana said, you can have it, go and make sacrifice to your Lord, so that whatever you want to do. But he said, the reason why I came is to build an altar, offer a sacrifice, so that the plague may be stayed. In other words, that the plague may be withdrawn. So David understands that the cure for plague is building an altar and sacrificing on it. That is the cure for plague. I don't know the kind of plague that you're going through, but remember this, every plague came from altar, and you have to end the plague from another altar. That's why the Bible said, through one man sin and death came into the world, but through another man righteousness and life came. Somebody started it and somebody have to end it. Every plague in your family that was started, it doesn't matter who started the plague, but you were born, you met the plague, you will be the one to end that cycle. If your amen is loudest, it will happen for you. Hallelujah. And he said, take it. Offer something. David said, no. If I take it and offer it to the Lord, then it has not cost me something. He said, I will not give to the Lord my God that which will not cost me something. It has to cost you something. It has to cost you something. I will not give to the Lord my God that which will not cost me something. And this is what brings me to why many givers lack. There are people who say they are givers, and people see them as givers, but they lack. The reason why their giving does not produce any divine response or result is this reason. I will not give to the Lord my God that which will not cost me something. And many of you, what you give to the Lord, it doesn't cost you anything. It is called convenient offering, convenient sacrifice. It's convenient for you to give. What does it mean to give to the Lord that which costs you something? Something that is normally not convenient for you to give. That is why it's called sacrifice. If you have $10,000, for example, and God demands a sacrifice to end a battle, to end a cycle in your life, and you came out, what you're giving is $1,000. You are not giving to God what costs you something. You just gave a convenient offering. It is convenient for you to give. And when you give convenient offering, it doesn't produce results. When you give convenient offering, you give it out from your own mind, but you are not giving by the leading of the Spirit. As many that are led by the Spirit of God, as many, what happens to them? Now listen. And David told him, I said, tell me the price. Name your price, I will pay. Don't worry, take it from me. And he paid. When God saw the sacrifice and the willingness of David, then David raised the altar, built the altar, and when he built the altar, he offered a burnt offering, offered a sacrifice on the altar, and God came down to the altar, and the plague was withdrawn. Amen. What is the cure for plague? What is plague? Plague is that situation you have encountered, you have prayed and fasted, nothing has happened. And this is the reason why people keep on running from pillar to post. You go for prayer here today, you go for prayer here tomorrow, nothing is working out. Because deliverance is not about falling down and breaking chair. Deliverance is a spiritual transaction. It is altar versus altar. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's a spiritual transaction. That's why Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, he said, though we dwell in the flesh, we do not walk by the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare, they are not carnal. They are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Hallelujah. In other words, it is the spiritual that controls the physical. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. Life in the spirit is more real than the physical. Yes. Life in the spirit is more real than the physical. There are a lot of debt that has been incurred. How do you cancel the debt? Let me remind you this. Spiritual debt is more dangerous than physical debt. Yes. When you incur spiritual debt, there are a lot of consequences, a lot of things that goes with it. And people go through this, they don't understand. They say, oh, but I prayed, oh, but I fasted, oh, but I'm a giver. You are a giver, but you are lacking. You are a giver, there is no result. You are a giver, there is no evidential release in your life. There is no evidence in your life as to what you are giving because there is no divine response. I understand the reason why this is like that. If you read the book of Psalm chapter 18, if you read verse 24, 25, it said, to the merciful I will show myself merciful. Amen. So it is any way you choose to follow God is okay. He will follow you in the same way. He said, to the merciful I will show myself merciful. To the pure I will show myself pure. To the righteous I will show myself righteous. To the froward, that's to the crooked, I will show myself the same way. And when God says he will show himself the same way, that means it's the same way you respond to him, the same way you follow him, the same way you do things. When God demands something from you, you say, oh, but God, I fasted, I prayed. But there is a situation you need to understand. Some of you have prayed for a particular thing again and again, and yet results have not come. Your problem is not prayer, your problem is understanding. The Bible says that people perish because they lack knowledge. And I told you yesterday that ignorance is a license to bondage. My people perish because they lack knowledge. Not because God cannot help you, not because God cannot deliver you, not because God cannot set you free. As long you can be a child of God, you can be a Christian, you can be a pastor. When it comes to the issues of altars, Satan does not respect your prayer. The only thing Satan respects is principle. Yes. You can be very prayerful and be very broke at the same time. You see a whole lot of people, they are very prayerful. I'm not saying prayer is not good. I pray for hours every day. I fast every day. But something happened that we need to see here. The other day, a man, whose son was constantly harassed by the devil, took the son to Jesus Christ, to the disciples of Jesus. And the disciples of Jesus began to pray. They did everything they saw Jesus doing. They spoke the same way they saw Jesus speaking. And yet the situation was not relevant. Until the man, the father of the boy, became disappointed. Then he took the son to Jesus. He said, Master, I brought my son to your disciples and they couldn't help me out. And straightforward, Jesus dealt with the issue. When the issue was dealt with, the disciples came to Jesus. They said, Master, why couldn't we cast out this devil? Why couldn't we do it? You just did this now. We have been struggling for hours praying and nothing has happened. And Jesus said to them, sit down, let me teach you something. This is the master of prayer who brought prayer, who taught us how to pray in the new covenant. You know, the disciples came to him one time. They said, Master, teach us how to pray, just as John the Baptist taught his disciples how to pray. And Jesus showed them the key. He said, when you pray, you say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and all the rest. Now, watch what happened here. Jesus said to them, sit down, let me teach you. So you need to understand. Jesus said, this kind does not go except by fasting and by prayer. This kind. Now, please, when you get home, I want you to underline the word, this kind. I want you to underline the word or take note of it, this kind. These are the exact words of Jesus. He was teaching his disciples. He said, this kind does not go except by fasting and by prayer. Now, the word, this kind, what does it mean? Jesus was not telling his disciples that every problem you can battle by fasting and prayer. Jesus said this kind. If Jesus said this kind, it means there are several other kinds. Are you hearing what I'm saying at all? Yeah. There are different kinds, different kinds. So if prayer solves every situation, prayer can deal with every issue, Jesus would have said every problem, every kind of prayer, every kind of problem goes by prayer, by fasting and prayer. But when it came to this, Jesus said this kind does not go out except by fasting and by prayer. This kind. Let me ask you a question. What about the kind that have defied your fasting and prayers? This is Jesus himself that will pray in the name of Jesus. Bah! And the master is saying to you, this kind does not go out except by fasting and prayer. It didn't say every kind goes out by fasting and prayer. It said this kind. If Jesus is saying this kind, he's saying to you, all problem does not go by fasting and prayer. What about the one that have defied your fasting and prayers? You have fasted and prayed for years, the situation has not changed. There is another kind. And that's the kind I want to show you tonight. This kind of power, you have ability to break you out from every situation. If you hear what I'm saying, shout amen. There are things that started in your family many years ago, more than 300 years ago, more than 200 years ago. You can't solve them overnight. You need to overturn, you need to reverse it. Somebody pay the price for those things to come. These are agreed spirits. There are forces that have defined your prayers. The more you pray, the more they harass you. Why? They came on the ground of legality. You don't say I'm a Christian, even if you speak in tongues. Oh, you don't know demons too, they speak in tongues? Yes. You don't know demons, they speak in tongues? Oh, these are spiritual matters. If you want to deal with this issue, you must consider the legal technicalities in this matter. The devil does not respect your title, whether you have been a Christian for 30 years. The devil does not respect your title, whether you are a bishop, if you like, carry on the ecclesiastical title in this world. Some people say, I am bishop, doctor, apostle, only you. Amen, somebody. You see, anybody can pick microphone and talk from morning to night. Talking not in talking without power, you are nothing but a lecturer on the altar. You are nothing but a lecturer. You speak all the big grammar, bamboozle everybody with your power of eloquence and command of English, and it has not commanded any problem to go. You are nothing but a lecturer. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Hallelujah. Are you sure you are with me? Somebody say, talk to me. Jehovah Nissi, I am. Jehovah Rapha, I am. Jehovah Yahweh, I am. Jehovah Elohim, I am. What it means also, if you look for trouble, I am trouble. If you look for peace, I am peace. If you look for deliverance, I am deliverance. If you look for power, I am power.
Come into place, limitations take the center stage. When satanic laws come into effect, the human soul is a hopeless slave. In this book, Breaking Satanic Laws, Dr. Chris Okafor shows you how to supernaturally break away from satanic laws and enjoy lasting freedom under divine laws. To order this book, please call +234 809 261 6271. or visit our online store at www.liberationcity.org/online store. Get your copy today. When generational patterns and altars turn bloody and fatal, there is only one way out. Change the pattern. Changing the Family Pattern and Altar Part 1 and 2 by Dr. Chris Okafor is a stunning eye-opener on how quickly you can exchange your evil family pattern and altar with a glorious destiny in Christ Jesus. To order, please call +234 809 261 6271 or visit our online store at www.liberationcity.org/online store. Get your copy today.
Said the other day, this kind does not go out except by fasting and prayer. What of this one that I've defined my fasting and prayer? I know I don't need fasting and prayer anymore because I've fasted and prayed enough. I need to deal with the matter because the matter is altar for altar. Look for something that the altar demands. Give it to the altar. You see the altar go into battle. May you come out from every stubborn battle.
Liberation City, liberating lives.
That is the problem. You see, there are issues when you don't deal with, they will follow you. You can be very prayerful and people will still ask you, where is your God? Yes, sir. I use the case of Moses. Moses as a case study here, briefly. Then I'm going to say some serious things. Then I will tell you what to do. That battle is coming to an end. God gave me instructions concerning you. Hear me and hear me well. After this conference, no power, it doesn't matter what have been raised, it is overturned in your favor. But you don't understand what to do. Look at why people are in the church. Amen, somebody? Look at why people are in the church, but they are not. They can go forward the way they ought to go. I'll show you 2 scriptures, then I'll be done. Come with me to the book of Daniel. Look at me. You are in the church, but you belong to somewhere. You are in the church, no doubt. You are a Christian, but something is wrong. Verse 1. Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine before the 1,000. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem. I want you to mark the word. Out from which temple were these vessels taken from?
Jerusalem.
Come on now, from where? From Jerusalem. That the king and his princess, his wives, his concubines might drink therein. And they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was at Jerusalem. And the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold, and of silver, and of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. In the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote against another. The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, the soothsayers, and the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Now watch this. Watch this. Come with me to verse 30. Then I explain because of time. In that night was Belshazzar the king of Chaldeans slain. Look at me. Watch this. The king has right to do anything he wants to do. There is no problem. The king has right. The king was in high spirit. He invited 1,000 guests, among his wives, the queens, the princes, his concubines, the princess, and all of them. And while he was in a high spirit, he tasted the wine. And when he drank the wine, he commanded that they should bring the gold vessels, the articles of gold and silver that were taken from where?
Jerusalem.
From Jerusalem. Now remember, I'm trying to show you something here. Remember this. When Solomon built the temple, the Bible says Solomon dedicated the temple. You remember? Yeah. When he dedicated the temple, it means everything in the temple was dedicated. When he dedicated it unto the Lord, I'm talking about now the part of dedication. When he dedicated it, everything there was dedicated. Now the problem here is this. Later on, the Babylonians invaded in Jerusalem and took everything that was in Jerusalem, invaded the house of God also. Now, they took it to Babylon. Now, when Nebuchadnezzar died, when the father died, this guy Belshazzar took over as the king. Then he commanded that the vessels of gold that was taken from Jerusalem be brought. Now, the moment he touched those gold, the moment he spoke about the gold, God said, you don't have right to touch what was dedicated to me. And God showed up. Now, watch this. Watch this. What am I trying to say? Remember, the vessels were taken from Jerusalem. And they are now in Babylon, right? Yes. In Babylon. Yes. Where were they dedicated?
In Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem. But remember, they are now in Babylon. This is the movement of Christian. You are not a Christian, but you were once dedicated somewhere. This is the movement of Christian. Now, the issue of the dedication has not been dealt with. Now, because of this, when they brought the gold vessel, God said, you have no right to touch what was legally dedicated to me. And God said, for touching what was dedicated to me, I'll kill you. And a hand appeared immediately. You have been weighed and found wanted because you touched what was dedicated to me. The power of dedication. Now, remember, this vessel has been moved from Jerusalem to Babylon. Now, you are a Christian right now. You are not a Christian, but what happened between Jerusalem and Babylon? The gold and the silver. Somebody took it. They claim to be the owner. The Babylonians. Right? Spiritually, who was that vessel dedicated to? Come on, you're not getting this point now. Who was the vessel dedicated to? No, spiritually, though we dwell in the flesh, we do not walk by the flesh. So spiritually, this vessel belongs to God. That means to say the Spirit of God goes with this vessel wherever it goes to. Now, some of you are giving your life to Jesus Christ, but before you give your life to Jesus, some of you, your fathers worship idol, your forefathers worship idol, they did different things. But the reason of this, you say, oh, but I was not the one that did it, but your father did it. You are a product of your father. Your parents were the cover of the book. You are the chapters of the book. Yes. How do you break up? Look at what the Bible says, for example. In Exodus chapter 20, it says, you shall not make for yourself any graven image of anything in heaven or earth, in the waters or beneath. You shall not serve them, you shall not worship nor bow before them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers unto the third and fourth generation. Unto the third and fourth generation. Now, you said you are giving your life to Jesus Christ. Remember, this vessel has been moved, has been taken as spoil from Jerusalem to Babylon. But yet, there is still a legality of ownership from the God of Jerusalem. Yes. There are many of you here today, you have no right to decide what you will become, because before you were born, the covenant your fathers entered to decide what you will be. I'll give you a typical example. Listen, our fathers didn't go to do what they did because of anything. They did these things because some were looking for power, some were looking for solution, some were looking for wealth, some were looking for protection. And in their eyes, they sought the ways they thought it was good in their eyes. The Bible says there is a way that seemeth good in the eyes of men, but the end for is destruction. And that is why what we are suffering today. That is why Lamentation chapter 5 verse 6 and 7 says, our fathers have sinned, they are no more, but we bore the iniquities of our fathers. How do we break out of it? That's where I'm coming. Because you are breaking out of it. If your enemy is louder, it will happen for you. This issue here, don't be in a hurry to go. Because this error must be corrected. They are no more, but to bore the iniquities. I'll give you another example. If you read 1 Samuel chapter 1, the Bible said concerning Samuel, and concerning the mother Hannah, and concerning the stepmother of Samuel, that is the rival called Penina. The Bible said this woman regularly mocked Hannah and said, you can't even take in, you can't even conceive, not to talk of miscarriage. By the reason of the faith, the husband will show her love so much. The husband will say to her, you mean more than 10 sons to me. But with all this, the woman is not satisfied. And one day, as a result of the desperacy of her heart, by the reason of the insult she goes through constantly from her rival Penina, she went to Shiloh one day, and when she got to Shiloh, she was praying as usually she won't pray. That the priest mistook the way she was praying as someone that was drunk. And the priest accosted her and said, oh, how dare you come to this altar to desecrate it? And the woman said, I'm not drunk, man of God. It is as a result of the pains in my heart. I have come to pour in before God. And then the priest said to him, go, that your request has been granted. But then she knelt down on the altar and said, oh God, I am desperate for a time that they will know that I am a woman. God, I want you to give me a baby boy. If you give me this boy will also be dedicated to you all the days of his life. Yes. What's the problem? Now, Samuel, we have no choice of anything you want to become in this world. The mother already by transaction conscripted what Samuel is going to become. There's a transaction, and these things we take it for granted. They are very powerful. Samuel, now the Bible said, according to the word of the Lord, the woman became pregnant and she conceived and bore a boy called Samuel. Now the Bible said, after 3 months when she had weaned the baby, she took the baby when they went to Shiloh. The Bible says she slaughtered 2 bullocks. If you read from verse 21, and she slaughtered these 2 bullocks. After slaughtering the bullock, she dedicated the boy. If you read it very well, from verse 21 to 24, 25, she said, this place I stood to covenant. this boy. He said, you gave it to me, and now I've come to return it to you, that as long as he liveth, all the days of his life, he will be lent unto you. In other words, he will be dedicated unto you all the days of his life. So Samuel will not be in the league of the little kids when they are growing up. This one says, I want to be a doctor. This one says, I want to be a nurse. This one says, I want to be an engineer. This one says, I want to be a footballer. Samuel had no choice. What he would become has been conscripted by the mother before he was born. And some of you, what you become today was decided not even by God. Your parents decided it. That's the problem. That's what we're going through. Now, how do we do this today? How do we change it? And that's the reason why today in this world, there are a lot of people, when you talk about the issue of homosexual, lesbianism, gayism, and the rest, it was something that the mothers, most of the mothers caused their children to become that. Not because by their behavior. I'm telling you what has been spiritually and scientifically proven. Now a woman, I was praying for a woman 2 years ago. The woman, the only son she had was behaving like a girl. Watch this. She has boys. First one a boy, second one a boy, third one a boy, fourth one a boy. She got a fifth one, a male child, a boy also. Then she wanted to get in a female child. Now the woman became pregnant. She went to the hospital, did scan, and doctor told her, congratulations woman, you are having another baby boy. And a male child. The woman reacted, oh no, not another one. From that moment, the child in the womb, it was registered that we never wanted you in this earth as a boy or as a girl. So there is the conscious and the subconscious that begins to register. Now I was praying, the woman said, man of God, this my son, I don't understand why he's a gay behaving like a woman. That is giving them so much problem because the man is a pastor. It's giving them so much cause of worry. They have prayed, done everything, nothing happened. The more they try to pray the boy, the more it gets deep into it. Then the problem, I was ministering one day, God said, don't pray for him. God said, go back into the day the mother went into the room with the doctor. You know, by the Spirit of God, you can travel into 50 years back, into 20 years back, 30 years back, by the Spirit of God. Now, when the Lord told me, he said, when the mother was expecting to have a female child, but she had a male child, she said, oh no, never again. I was never expecting to have a male. So, the mother had positioned the baby, even though physically, this is a boy, but the first word that was recorded from the mother to that child was the word of, we don't want you here on earth as a male child, but as a female. So, it has been scientifically proven that babies in the womb, that they can respond to music, to sound. So the first thing that was recorded into the boy was, we want you as a girl. And God said, this is where the problem started. Not that the boy, not that the father was a gay or the mother did anything. It was a seed. And you see the problem, the enemy has so much weapon. The mother will never on earth remember that it was what she said that led that child into doing that. Because the Bible says life and death, they are in the power of the tongue. I'm going to teach you something. It was decided by the mother, unknown to her. And the Lord said to me, the Lord said, rewind the tape. The recording that was made into the mind, into the subconscious conscious of that child, the Lord said, rewind it back. You have to do divine editing, remove what was deposited by the spoken words of the mother. You have to edit it out, then command the soul and the spirit of the boy to become a male that he was created naturally by Elohim to become. When I say in the name of Jesus, I go back to the day the father gave the boy the result. I mean, the daughter gave the woman the result. Now I said today, woman said this after me. I said to the woman, say this after me. I welcome you into this world the way you are. I want you as a male child. Now it was after the recording, because the recording was still speaking. It was recorded. It remains there. Then God said, carry out divine editing. I got in the spirit. God showed me in a vision when the woman, the mother was wearing a gown, a red flower colored gown, and went into this place about 32 years ago. And God said, go back into the place. We went there. I saw when the mother took the result, the doctor said, congratulations. Here you have another male child. She said, oh no, not another one. That was the first sign, the first signal that the baby in the womb received, that we don't want you here as a male child. Then we went in the spirit realm. That very part was deleted. The record was deleted, and God said, tell the mother again to put another record in that the spirit and the soul of the boy will respond to. And the mother said, call him by name and said, oh Bina, we need you as a baby boy. We love you as a male child. We love you the way you are. You will be a male child. You will be useful. You will be responsible. So it was edited. Another one came, and from that moment, I said, in the name of Jesus, I position you. Become a male child that you are born to be. From the moment he fell under anointing, and when he got up, his voice, everything about him changed. The moment he will talk like a man, he will walk like a man, speak like a man. So what am I saying? If the boy, God never created a boy to be a gay, it was what the mother said. So many of you become what you are, not because you want to be. Many problems you are going through today are hereditary. So Samuel can never say, I want to be a doctor, because the mother had already decided that Samuel must be a priest and a prophet. That settles it. How did you come into this? How are you implicated? We need to deal with it so that you can understand it properly. If you are hearing me, somebody shall talk to me. Are you sure you are with me? Somebody say, work it. As long as you will give me your attention, I'm going to work it. And by the time we are done today, that enemy will let you go. That devil is a liar. If you believe it, lift up your voice and shout it, yes. Now watch what happened. Let me show you what it means. Some of you, what you are going through today, you don't even know about it. But for the fact that you are ignorant of it does not mean it will not worry you, it will not trouble you. Watch this. How does God see a man? And how does the devil see a man? When God sees a man, he sees a family, he sees a generation. When the devil sees a man, he does not only see the man, he sees a family, he sees a generation. Now, remember this. When God appeared to Abraham in Genesis chapter 15, or rather when Abraham went to God, Abraham said, God, I've walked with you, I'm your friend, and now I'm about to die. I'm about to join my ancestors. Does that mean I'm going to die like this without having a child of my own? So if I die, it means my chief servant, Eliezer, will be my heir apparent. And God said, contrary to your opinion and your thoughts, he said, Eliezer will not be your heir apparent. For the fact you did not deal with this issue, that's the reason why. But then, you need a temporary deliverance, I will give you a temporary deliverance. You're going to have a son. God said to him, your sons, watch this, you are not just going to have a son, but the generation from your women, they are going to be slaves in another man's land for 400 years. Now, listen to me, everybody. I need to educate you on something. Now, you remember the people of Israel went into Egypt as slaves. Right?
Yes.
Now, you see, when these things are orchestrated in the spirit, they didn't go there on their own that we want to be slaves. There was a famine in the land. Everywhere there was famine. Now, their father Jacob, who took them into Egypt in the quest for solution, and they became slaves. Some of us, our fathers, went to the devil for solution. And by the reason of that, we became transactions of what our fathers have done. Listen. Thank you, Jesus. Your loin, the seed that come out from you, will be a slave in another man's land for 400 years. Now, if you watch, they became slaves in Egypt for how many years? 400 years. No, not 400 years, 430 years. Amen. Please give me your attention. For 430 years, according to Exodus chapter 12, verse number 40. I'll tell you why they spent 430 years. Now, that's the slavery they went into in Egypt was a necessity. Why was it a necessity? If Abraham had said to God, no, I don't want my sons or my generation, my unborn children to go into slavery, it would have been cancelled. Yes. But it was an agreement. What is covenant? Covenant is an agreement between two or more people. It can travel through a generation. So what happened in this process? They became slaves. Were they the one that wanted to be slaves? No. It was the agreement their father had. And the affair is affecting them until somebody came to do something. What did they do to break out of it? Let me show you something else again. When we're talking about this issue, watch this. If you read Hebrews chapter 6 and Hebrews chapter 7, he analyzed something I want to explain. If you read Genesis chapter 14, the Bible said it came to pass that the brother of Abraham, or rather his nephew, was taken captive by the enemies in Genesis chapter 14. And the Bible said when it was told to Abraham, the Bible said in Genesis chapter 14 and verse number 14, the Bible said Abraham took the men that were trained in his own house and went after the enemy. And when he went there, he delivered the brother, and made spoil of the enemies. And then, when he was coming back, he met with the priest Melchizedek. When he encountered Melchizedek, the Bible said he gave to Melchizedek tithe of all tithes. And then Melchizedek blessed him and said, Abraham, the possessor of heaven and earth. Abraham was a great man without a prophet to bring to pass what the Lord had ordained him to be. There was no enforcement of the verdict of the prophetic words written over his life of what it would be until he met with Melchizedek. Now watch this. The Bible said, according to Hebrews chapter 6 and chapter 7, the Bible said when Abraham paid tithes, Isaac also paid tithes. But you remember in Genesis chapter 14 that Isaac was not born. Isaac came only in Genesis chapter 18 after Abraham met with Jesus Christ. I'm sure you don't know that Abraham had a encounter with Jesus. That's why Jesus said, Abraham saw my day and was glad. How did Abraham meet Jesus? Abraham met Jesus in Genesis chapter 18. When you get on, you read it. Verse 1. He said, the Lord appeared unto Abraham. And Abraham bowed down unto the Lord. He recognized him that he was the Lord. He recognized him. Jesus Christ is the Lord. It was after that encounter that Isaac came to be. But in Genesis chapter 14, before Isaac was born, Isaac paid tithe with Abraham. Now, I've read the Bible cover to cover about 34 times. Then, I was still battling with this. I said, how did Isaac pay tithe when he was not born? And God told me, he said, what happened was when Abraham went to pay tithe, Isaac was not born, but Isaac was inside Abraham. That when Abraham knelt down before Melchizedek, Isaac also knelt down. that Isaac was in the loin of Abraham. You were not born, but when your forefathers went to that idol, went to that fetish priest, went to covenant with the devil, you were not physically born, but you were in the loin of your father. When your father knelt down, you knelt down. When the agreement was made, you two made the same agreement, and by the reason of this, you have become implicated. So when you not come to church and say, hey, I'm a new creature, all things have passed away. Nobody, the devil, that guy is a very smart guy. He's a legal luminary. He worked by legality. See, when they say the devil is the accuser of our brethren, when the Bible calls the devil the liar, it doesn't mean that the devil is everything the devil says is a liar. Sometimes when the devil accuses you, you can see clearly that what he's accusing you of is truth. Come on now, talk to me. Yes. But the only thing that makes the devil is a liar, the truth of the devil becomes a lie because the devil speaks the truth without grace. In the absence of grace, everything you say becomes disgrace.
The spring prophet.
In the absence of grace. Now, when he said to Joshua, the high priest, the son of Nun, that you are wearing a dirty, filthy garment. Was he wearing it or not? He was. But God rebuked him.
Yes.
Satan, you don't have grace to say the truth. It doesn't mean what he's saying is not truth. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So he asked, when you said, Satan, in the name of Jesus, I command you, get out. Take your hands off me. He says, no, I can't take my hands off you. You belong to me. You were legally given to me. You can go. You can prove to be a born again. You are a new creator. What about the legal technicalities? You have to deal with the issue to come out of it. Somebody is breaking out of it tonight. So many things are involved in the process. And by the reason of this, a lot of people are suffering. Our fathers are no more. They have sinned and they are no more, but who bore the iniquities of our fathers. That is what is supposed to draw something or arouse something to your consciousness. How? How come our fathers have sinned and they are no more? How come we bear the consequences of the sins of our father? Because you are the seed of your father.
Jehovah Nissi I am, Jehovah Rapha I am, Jehovah Yahweh I am, Jehovah Elohim I am.
What it means also, if you look for trouble, I am trouble. If you look for peace, I am peace. If you look for deliverance, I am deliverance. If you look for power, I am power.
Come into place, limitations take the center stage. When satanic laws come into effect, the human soul is a hopeless slave. In this book, Breaking Satanic Laws, Dr. Chris Okafor shows you how to supernaturally break away from satanic laws and enjoy lasting freedom under divine laws. To order this book, please call +234 809 261 6271. Or visit our online store at www.liberationcity.org/online store. Get your copy today. When generational patterns and altars turn bloody and fatal, there is only one way out. Change the pattern. Changing the Family Pattern and Altar Part 1 and 2 by Dr. Chris Okafor is a stunning eye-opener on how quickly you can exchange your evil family pattern and altar with a glorious destiny in Christ Jesus. To order, please call +234 809 261 6271 or visit our online store at www.liberationcity.org/online store. Get your copy today.
That's why Jesus said the other day, this kind does not go out except by fasting and prayer. What of this one that I've defined my fasting and prayer? I know I don't need fasting and prayer anymore because I've fasted and prayed enough. I need to deal with the matter because the matter is altar for altar. Look for something that the altar demands. Give it to the altar. You see the altar going to battle. May you come out from every stubborn battle.